up in there, shit. There we go. Wow, it's pretty. Blue in there, the whole area. I would draw a picture no matter how bad it was, but my parents would look at it and they'd laugh at it. They would respond to it. It was a communicated device that I discovered, 4 years old, something like that, 5 years old. And I got a reaction, especially being from a family of 10, to get some attention. So making a mark was the beginning. That created conversation, that gave you a smile, that gave you praise. That was the beginning.
So in the 50s, you have the Rhythm Aces.
Yeah.
And were you all touring pretty much quite a bit at that time?
We had records out.
Yeah. Was that on VJ or Sun?
That was VJ and Sun.
VJ and Sun, okay.
To Sun Records in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
Do 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 do. That's all they were,
Yeah.
And you'd sing everything to that kind of format, I learned to play that. I had tuned my guitar the right way, the way it should be played. And I picked up those things, all the little breaks, and discovered Sam Cooke, and cats like that.
That sounds like an exciting time.
It was the 1950s, and we played tricks.
Yeah.
Everything was a laugh. Everything was a joke. You saw the movie American Graffiti.
I haven't seen that movie.
This was the black version of that. Everything was funny. In our little VW van, one guy, Phil Slaw, backed the van into a ditch, and it was pointing up like a rocket.
Wow.
So we lit some newspapers. They were flaming. We threw them in the van. We were stupid, man. And Dwayne, we shouted at him, "Get out! The van's on fire!"
Wow.
And I always had this complex I had to work on. My inability to read music, How come I can't read this stuff real fast? And when I see guys doing it, I think they're God, And taking some dots on on a piece of paper, and they're just reading this shit, And I have to use my ear and remember this stuff, and play stuff by ear. Mm-hmm. And so I had to work at it. So I had to pay a lot of attention to music.
Okay.
But art sailed along beautifully,
Just so naturally too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everything was art.
Yeah.
When the sunlight came through the windows in our house and painted things for me, I couldn't wait till the next day come so that I can see that same painting. And then in the winter it would change. Yeah. Well, I'll be, 70. My birthday's coming up.
Yeah, March 1st. Yeah. Next week.
It's the big one, man. It's like, it's like, oh. So a lot of my work now and have always been is about culture first and society and social stuff, which brings us to the Civil War and slavery and Andrew Jackson and all of that stuff. But at the same time, I want to keep an eye on myself too, to make sure there's not an imbalance taking place here. There's not an over this and over that. Everything is balanced. I am you, you are me. We both are human beings. So I'm searching for that human being thing, because all evil and shit stems from stupidity, yielding to ignorant stuff that just logically, or that isn't logic, that is, doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and it's proven time and time again that if you prejudge people or you make up something in your mind that this is how all of them are, you're always proven wrong, I've never seen that win. I've never seen that concept be the dominant. A lot of people hurt, a lot of people get killed, a lot of people die on the way, but still it's wrong. And in the larger picture, that right is going to surface. It always does.
It's been such a pleasure just to have grown up with you. You know, meeting you when I was 14 or 15 years old, in the way that we met. You know,
Yeah.
in our relationship, how it developed. You know, like I really, I owe a lot of the way that I think about art to you. Just some of the ways that you kind of threw me into creating and making music and explaining your process as an artist, visually and musically.
I heard you and this little short piano player, you know, at Andy's place, and you guys played that free form thing. It was bloody. I mean, it was like nothing. I mean, I'm saying, wow, this is live. I'm hearing this. So yeah, you were the right guy to get close to, man. Know this kid, and he became my kid. He did, and your mom said it was okay, you know, that I can adopt him, you know. And one time she called me, you know, when you're having some problems in high school, and she says, "Talk to him, Preston." That was the best gift I ever had, for her to ask me that.
So I'm curious about yourself. How do you feel about the future? You know, with all the life that you've lived, with all the different paths that you've, you know, really refined.
Wow.
You know?
You know, it's time to hear those questions. I always said, I don't want to hear that stuff. That stuff sounds like death to my ass, you know. But now it's time for me to listen to those questions. I mean, like, after we leave here, I got to go take my fucking blood pressure pill, you know, and I go home, you know, and it's cool. But tomorrow is like a bright sun coming through that door. All I have to do is open it, you know. And I always sort of count my tomorrows, you know, or hanging around the hardware store looking at tools that, I think I'll get me one of those things, you know, because I can, you know, cut through anything with this tool here. So I'm always optimistic about stuff, you know. And, you know, I live around, live with or around a beautiful woman, you know, called Melba. You know, Melba is my wife. And sometimes I watch her sleep. And I marvel at the beauty of her face when, you know. So I'm saying to myself that there's things to be excited about. And I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait for the next hour to happen.